This video essay is a response to Michael Bull's The Audiovisual iPod. Bull investigates how audio technologies and systems mediate the urban environment and the behaviors they encourage. Bull argues that the iPod aestheticizes or simplifies the urban space, therefore making the space more pleasant, creating a totalizing and immersive space. But what are the repercussions of this? Users close themselves off from a city in order to imagine it in a new way that suits them better. The iPod creates an augmented experience of urban space. And this new experience of an urban space, mediated by the iPod, is solipsistic, an experience in which it seems to the user that nothing else exists beyond their own personal experience, which can be detrimental for society as a whole. When we begin to do this at every dull point in our lives, we begin to use the iPod and ensuing headphones as a sort of safety net or security blanket. This is incredibly dangerous because users are now imaginatively in control of the urban space. It seems to be a movie that they are a star of, and not actually a life that they are living in and aware of. They are also the director, imagining strangers as actors in their drama, but they're doing so as a replacement of actual conversation, and they're closing themselves off to potential conversations that one may have if not wearing headphones. Bull describes this imaginative act as mimetic, as users imagine the world as mimicking how they're thinking or feeling. As a result, knowledge of other people in the urban environment is very limited. If users experience the world only with the help of iPod technology, then our conversations might be at risk, along with social interaction in general. Bull explains that the iPod has shed light onto the fact that without the mediation of technology, the world along with users' minds is too chaotic, and that everything must be simplified. How do we feel about this? Do we as humans want to be severely emotionally dependent on iPod usage and music in order to avoid feelings of anxiety? There seems to be something wrong here. To see the world without the mediation of sound, also known as silence, as threatening, is not something we want every human being in the future to experience. Bull explains that this reliance on the iPod contains cognitive and moral resonances. By shutting ourselves off from the world, we lose the ability to understand other people's experiences. We lose empathy. We lose community. What does it mean for millions of people to live in individual isolation? What kind of society does that make? Does that make it even a community at all? When you sanitize the world, only see it from your point of view, you lose your responsibility to others in a space where millions live together. This experience of detachment and filtering out is unique in its own way, and can be positive if not overused. In addition, your experience of time changes with music. A lot of the time it speeds up, but there is something to be said about being more present. When we are plugged in and listening to music, we are imagining our own world and therefore not taking in everything around us. It can be argued that while one of our sensory details is completely cut off, the others are heightened. In this way, we may observe more around us visually when plugged in than if we were to be unplugged.
When we know reasons why we change, why our bodies are more than just breath and veins. I wonder what remains past the forests and borders and pocket chains. Ooh, ooh, wind doesn't blow, baby, just 'cause I want it to. Ooh, ooh, you don't want me, honey, just 'cause I want it to. Miss Karina.
Overall, our adherence to technology needs to be accompanied by awareness so as not to have our society determined by technology in the future. With so much of our life consumed by these devices, with apps such as Uber, Amazon, and much more, our world is becoming shaped by these technological interactions. So let's try and not have our society completely determined by it as well.
You say it'll be just fine. You say it'll be just fine.